Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In our previous class, we have been discussed types of asexual reproduction. One is fission, another one is budding. So today class, let us discuss the other types of asexual reproduction. So third type is sporulation. Third type of asexual reproduction is sporulation, or even we are calling it as a spore formation. Sporulation or spore formation. So in this process, the new individual, it will get formed through the spores. In this process, new individual or an offspring, it will be produced with the help of the spore. Now what is the meaning of spore? Spores are minute single-celled, thin-walled, propagules which germinates to produce new individual. So through the sporulation process, new individual, it will get formed through the spores. What is the meaning of spore? Means spores, they are the minute single celled, thin walled. So they are made up of a single cell and they having the thin wall, it is present, which germinates to produce a new individual. So like how if you put the seed, from that seed it will get germinate, a new plant it will get arises. In the same manner, so through the spore, a new individual it will get produced by germination, by germinating. Next here, example for this is bacteria, protista, algae, fungi. So these are all the organisms which will undergo the sporulation process. So which are the organisms they will undergo the sporulation or spore formation? Means bacteria, protista, algae, fungi. So all this group of organisms, they will undergo the spore formation, and these spores, it will get dispersed by the help of water or wind. So these spores, how it will get dispersed means spores dispersed by water or wind. With the help of the water or with the help of the wind, the spores, it will get dispersed. It will go and fall from one place to other place, and later that spore, it will get germinate and develops into a new individual. Now let us discuss this sporulation process by taking one of the example. So let us take the fungi. So with the help of the fungi, so how the sporulation process it will be held. So let us take one of the fungi, by name call it as a Rhizopus, or else even another one fungi, we can take Mucor, etc. All these in the these fungi will undergo the sporulation process. So we will take an example of the Rhizopus. This is the structure of the Rhizopus. Let us discuss the sporulation by taking an example of the fungi. So fungi is such as a Rhizopus. This is the structure of the Rhizopus. Yeah. So this Rhizopus, it will undergo the sporulation process. So in this process, what happens is the sporangium. So with the structure, this complete ball-like structure which is present, this complete ball-like structure, what we are calling it as a sporangium. Inside this sporangium, it contains a large number of spores it present. Inside the sporangium, what it contains? It contains a large number of small spores it will present, which is a single cell structure. Later this sporangium, it will get break up and it will liberates the number of spores, and that spores even we are calling as a sporangiospores we are calling. And each spore, when it falls in a suitable place, it will start for germination, and it will starts for germination. like this, and it will develop into a new individual. It will develop into a new individual. So these are this short root like structures it is present. This is we are calling it as a rhizoids, we are calling, which will helps to absorb the nutrients. So whereas this ball like structure which is present, this is we are calling it as a sporangium. Inside this sporangium what it contains? It contains a spores it present. So this sporangium it will get rupture or it will get break up, and it will release as the large number of spores, and these spores it will get dispersed here with the help of water or wind, and wherever it will get fall, in that place if they get the suitable environment means it will start for germinating and it will develop into a new individual. So this is one type of organism which will undergoes the sporulation. So we will take another one example for the sporulation. Another example, we will take another one example of sporulation. So we'll take another one type of fungi. Another type of fungi, called it as a penicillium. By name call it as a penicillium. By name call it as a Penicillium notatum, which is one of the fungi. Even the diagrams have been mentioned in your textbook also. This is the diagram of the penicillium. So let us take another one example of fungi, that is nothing but Penicillium notatum. So this Penicillium notatum, it will produce a spore. That spores we are calling it as a conidia. This is important question for your exam. So one of the fungi name call it as a penicillium. This penicillium also produces the spores or also liberate the spores. That spores what we are calling means we are calling it as a conidia. What is the speciality of this conidia means? So conidia are the non-motile. Conidia are non-motile asexual spore. Conidia are the non-motile asexual spores which are produced exogenously by the constriction of hyphal branches called hyphal branches called conidiophore. This conidia, it will produce as a, this conidiophore, it will produce as a conidia. So what it means? So conidia, it is a spore. Which are the spores means? See here in this is a structure of the penicillium. This is the structure of the penicillium. Even they have been given in your textbook also. So in this structure, this is complete body of the penicillium. This body, it has been produced as the spores. That spores we are given a specific name, call it as a conidia. Generally we are calling it as a spores. But here the spores we are given a name, call it as a conidia. This is important for your exam. So in penicillium spores, what we are calling? Penicillium spores we are calling it as a conidia. So what is the structure of this conidia means? Conidia, it is a non-motile. It will not move. So it is one of the asexual spore which will produce exogenously. Those spores where it will be produced? Spores it will be produced outside the body. So just now we have been discussed another one type of fungi. That is nothing but rhizopus. So there the spores it has been formed inside the body endogenously. But here the spores are formed what here? Exogenously. Spores are produced outside the body. So outside the body, so that's why we are calling it as a exogenously. And these spores, how it will get from where it will get produced means it will be produced from these hyphal branches. These hyphal branches, what we are calling means we are calling it as a conidiophore. So these are all are the conidiophore. This one, this one, this one. These are all are we are calling it as a hyphal branches. We are calling these hyphal branches. What we are given the name is we have been given the conidiophore. With the help of this conidiophore, the conidia it will be produces. Later this single conidia it will develops into a new individual. This conidia it will develops into a what here? New individual or new offspring. New individual or new offspring. So this conidia, it may be single in some organisms, it may be produced singly, or in some organism it may be produced chain form. Example, so it's in some organisms like your Phycoptera, in some organisms like Phytoptera, so this conidia it will produce singly. In some organism like Penicillium, and Aspergillus, it will produce in the form of a chain. This conidia it may be produced singly or it may be produced in the form of a chain. So example, Penicillium you have seen. So here how many conidia are present here? Many are present here. And how they are present? They are present in the form of a chain. See, this is one conidia, this is one conidia, this is one conidia, this is one conidia. So number how many conidias are present? Just now I have mentioned here 4 here. Like that many it may be present. They are appearing in the form of what? How it is appearing means they are appearing in the form of a chain. So some organisms this conidia it may be appears in the form of a chain, whereas in some organisms it may be produced in a single manner. Only one conidia it may be present like this. Single conidia it may be present like this here. So a single in which organism like Phytoptera it may be present produced singly, whereas Penicillium and Aspergillus it may be produced in a chain form here. Next here, conidia it may be unicellular or it may be multicellular. The spores which is present we are calling it as a conidia. These spores either it may be comes in the form of a unicellular, either it may be comes in the form of a multicellular. In which organisms it will be comes in a unicellular means in Penicillium. In Penicillium spores are what you call that spores? Conidia. It is unicellular. Unicellular, it is unicellular, it is present. Unicellular it is present. Whereas in some organisms like Cercospora, the spores it will be produced, or conidia it will be produced in multicellular. That is nothing but it is made up of many cells. The spores either it may be unicellular, either it may be multicellular. The spores in some organism it may be produced singly, in some organisms it may produce in the form of a chain. So here what is the specific name we are given for the spore means? The specific name we are given it as a conidia. So keep remember this one, it is important for your exam. So which organisms it will produce as a conidia spore means? Penicillium, or Penicillium it will produce as a spores called, which spores means? Conidia. So that conidia it will produced from where means it will be produced from this hyphal branches, call it as a conidiophore, and these spores either it may be comes in a single or it may comes in a chain. Example for this also have been mentioned here. Which organism it will produce a single conidia means? Phytoptera. Which organism it will produce in the form of a chain means? Penicillium and Aspergillus. And even these spores it may be unicellular or multicellular. Example for unicellular is Penicillium. Now which are the spores we are finding here? They are unicellular only. They are unicellular. So multi-encyclospora, it will produce as the multicellular. So this is one of the example for what here means sporulation. Other one example it is present, that is we are calling it as a zoospores. So let us take another an example for what here means sporulation. That is nothing but algae. So in algae we will take one of the example, called it as a Chlamydomonas. So just now we have been discussed two examples, which are the fungi. Now let us take another an example for the sporulation, that is algae. In algae, which organism is Chlamydomonas. So let us discuss about this one. So given for this diagram also they have been mentioned in your textbook. So let us take another one example of algae, Chlamydomonas. So this organism also produces the spores. These organisms will also undergo the sporulation. They will produce the spores. And what you call these spores means, these spores we are called as a zoospores. We are given the specific name for the spores is zoospores. Like how fungi we have been Penicillium spores, we have been given one specific name, call it as a Conidia. In the same manner, the Chlamydomonas, which is an algae, it will also liberate the spore. So here also we are given one specific name, call it as a zoospores. So let us discuss about this spores. What is the speciality of these spores? These zoospores, it is a motile spore. This zoospore, it is a motile. Motile means what here? Movable. So zoospores are the motile spores and flagellated. Flagellated, which will be produced inside the zoosporangium. Flagellated spores produced inside the zoosporangium. Zoosporangium or zoosporangia also we are calling. So see here, this is the structure, this is the parental body. So which is here, this large organ structure we are seeing here, this is the parental body. So inside this body, the large number of zoospores are present. So these are the spore, this is one 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 spore. So these spores we are given a name, call it as a zoospores. These zoospores, it will develop into a new individual. These zoospores, where it has been produced means, it has produced inside the body of the parent. These spores, where it has been produced inside the body of the parent. What you call that one means, we are calling it as a zoosporangium. So that's why here zoospores are the motile. Motile means they are movable. So how they are movable means, because they contains the flagella. So these are all are the flagellas. With the help of these flagellas, they will show the movement here. So they are motile spores, flagellated, and they will produced inside the body of the zoosporangium. Which is the zoosporangium? This structure we are calling it as a zoosporangium. So next, during this process, what happened here means, the zoospores formation produced with the help of the protoplast here. So inside this zoosporangium or parental body, what it contains? Protoplast it contains. So protoplast undergoes repeated mitotic division to produce what here means, to produce large number of daughter protoplast. Large number of daughter protoplast. Now first of all, let us know what is the meaning of protoplast. Protoplast means, so nucleus. Protoplast means what? Protoplast means nucleus plus cytoplasm. Together we are calling it as a what here? Protoplast we are calling. You know very well here, inside the cell we will find the nucleus and even we will find the cytoplasm it is present, and that cytoplasm it contains all the cell organelles, mitochondria, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, all these things it will be present. In the same manner, this is the parent body. So inside this parent body it contains the nucleus, even it contains the cytoplasm here. So that nucleus and cytoplasm together we are calling it as a protoplasm. So in the parent body, this protoplasm undergoes repeatedly mitotic division. Which division? Mitotic division, and it produces the large number of daughter nuclei. Like in our previous classes, in your fission process we have been discussed multiple fission. So the nucleus it will get divided repeatedly, produce the large number of daughter nuclei. In the same manner here, nucleus only nucleus will not get divided, along with nucleus plus cytoplasm both together it will get divided. So that's why we have been mentioned here protoplasm. Protoplasm undergoes repeated mitotic division to produce the large number of daughter protoplasm. As soon as they produce the large number of daughter protoplasm, for this what happens is it's start for secreting the wall. Later what happen? Starts for secreting secrete a wall and transformed into motile structure called zoospores. So later first protoplasm, inside that the protoplasm it will get divided. As the protoplasm it will get divided, later it will be start for formation of the wall like this. Cell wall formation will be taken place. Finally each spore it will be developed here, and they will break the wall of the parent, and it will be liberates out, or it will be comes out, and each spore via our zoospore it will develops into a new individual. So this type of process is nothing but sporulation. Example, Chlamydomonas. This is also one of the most important question for your exam. So in this way, which is the most important means conidia it is important, zoospore is important for your exam. Keep remember, Chlamydomonas spores what we are calling zoospores. So Penicillium spores what we are calling conidia. So this is important. So conidia spores it is a non-motile, whereas zoospore it is a motile in structure. Another one example for this is algae is Ulithrix. Also this will also undergoes this process. This is the another one example. Next let us know the difference between the zoospores and conidia. Let us know the difference between the zoospores and conidia. Difference between zoospores and conidia. Zoospores, conidia. Zoospores are what here? First difference, they are flagellated. Just now we have been discussed zoospores are what they are? Flagellated. They are having the flagella it is present. They are flagellated. Whereas conidia, they are non-flagellated. Second difference, they are motile. As the flagella it is present, these are the motile spores. Here there is no flagella, so that's why they are non-motile spores. They are non-motile spore. Next, third difference. So zoospores are formed inside the sporangium. That means they are endogenous. Zoospores are formed inside sporangium. So that's why what we are calling endogenous. Endogenous. Where there it will be formed the tip of the conidiophore. It will get formed at the tip of conidiophore. So that's why what we are calling exogenous. Exogenous we are calling. Next difference. Example is here Chlamydomonas, here Penicillium. So this is the difference between zoospores and conidia. Next we will go to next one. Next type is fragmentation. Next type is fragmentation. Let us know what is the meaning of a fragmentation. Fragmentation is nothing but the process of breaking of body of the parent into two or more pieces is called fragmentation. What is the meaning of fragmentation? It is the process of breaking of the body of the parent into two or more pieces is called fragmentation. Example for this is Markensia, Raceae, Spirogyra, etc. So these are the example here. Example Markensia, Raceae, Spirogyra. So these are all the examples for what here means fragmentation. So what is the meaning of fragmentation? Means here the parent body, it will get divided into the two or more pieces. Parent body, it will get divided into the two or more pieces. So each piece, it will develop into a new individual. Each piece, it will develop into what here? Each piece develops into a new individual. Suppose this is a what here means parent body. Assume that this is a parent body. Suppose this parent body, if it get a divide like this. If it get a divide like this, means it has been broken into the two pieces. So each piece, it will develop into a new individual. So like that, it may breaks into the two pieces or more than two pieces. So each piece, it will develop into a new individual. That process only we are calling it as a fragmentation. Which are the organisms that are undergoing this process? Means Markensia, Raceae, Spirogyra, etc. Not only these organisms, even few organisms which are present in the phylum Coelenterata. So Coelenterata, then flatworms, Echinodermata, etc. All they will undergo this process. Planaria, all these organisms, they will undergo this process. Next one, regeneration. Next one is regeneration. What is the meaning of regeneration? Means it is a process in which the animals regrow or repair its lost or damaged part here. What is the meaning of regeneration? Means regeneration, it is a process in which the animal regrow or repair its lost or damaged part. Example for this is Planaria, starfish, sponges, hydra, etc. So example is we'll take the examples are planaria, starfish, sponges, hydra, etc. So these are all of the organisms which are undergoing the regeneration process here. Example, take the planaria. So assume that this is a parent body, this is a parent. So this parent, it has been divided into the 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. It has been divided into the 3 pieces. Now each piece, it will start for growing. It will start for regrow here. So regeneration is nothing but it is a process where animal regrows or repair its lost part or damaged part. So as this is the first part. Assume that this is the first part. It is present like this. It will regrow the remaining part of their body like this. Now this is the second part which is present. This second part, it will start for growing this head part and their tail part. So finally it will develop into another individual. And this last tail part, it is present. This organism, it will regrow its remaining body part. So and it will develop into a new individual. So from a parent here, so how many individuals we got here? 3 daughter individuals we got here through the which process means regeneration process here. So fragmentation is accompanied by the regeneration. So what here means fragmentation is accompanied by regeneration. Just now as I said here, fragmentation means parent body, it will divide into the 2 pieces here. Just now as I shown you here, it has been divided into the 2 pieces. In the regeneration also, if it divides into the pieces here, it will develop into the new organism. So these pieces, it has regrown its remaining part here. So that's why fragmentation process, it will be completed by whom means it will be completed by this regeneration process. This organism where only head part it is present, it has been completely developed its remaining body part. So this organism, it is having only the middle piece it is present, where it has been developed its head part and their tail part. Whereas this organism, it is having only the tail part, so it has been developed complete their head and remaining body part. So finally how many we got here? 3 daughter cells it is present. So that's why here, so in fragmentation and regeneration, it will be accompanied, fragmentation is accompanied by the regeneration. So fragmentation, what happens means it will get completed by regeneration. Even the starfish here, if any enemy attack on them here means they will cut the one of the arm here. Later what they do, through the regeneration, they will develop that regrow that damaged part or lost part, they will get they will regrow here. So this is the another type of asexual reproduction. So I'll stop here. So remaining the last type, it is present vegetative propagation, that we'll discuss in our later classes.